Like, no, you're not. What's your budget gonna get? I'm gonna get 80 million for this. No, you're not. Watch me.
Watch it.
He's like, and I'm just gonna throw in some random shit in there so we get these dickhead journalists trying to think I'm like the second coming. Like, oh, you could see the third blade of grass actually means Judas's repentance from back in the. Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We are your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 15, Monday, July 25th, 2022. This episode, we will be discussing Jordan Peele's new movie, Nope, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Plus, we'll be touching on a slew of trailers and information released at Comic-Con and other movies we watched this week. And don't forget to visit our website, acastwithnoname.com, where you can comment on episodes and write to our email at contact.acastwithnoname@gmail.com. So Comic-Con was this past weekend. Yeah. And
have you ever wanted to go to that?
yes.
I have too.
I went to one in Chicago as a Wizard World.
Like Harry Potter?
No, I think that was just the company Wizards World or something like that. It was the company that the exposition organization that put it on, and it was a smaller Comic-Con, but it was still fun. I think it was like back in 2012. Met the lead actor in Eureka. You ever see that show?
I remember it. Barely.
Yeah. Colin Ferguson is his name. He was the Maytag guy for a little bit in the commercials.
Yeah.
Super nice. Met Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell.
Ooh, some Quantum Leap action.
Yep.
Do they have a panel there? Or were they just there?
They were just there. They were doing meet and greets and saw Stan Lee. He had a panel. I went to that panel, and then they had a Boondock Saints panel, which had David Della Rocco and young Indiana Jones. Jesus, what's his name?
Young Indiana Jones.
Sean
Patrick Flannery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
was Troy Duffy there?
No. So he wasn't there. Norman Reedus was there. He was on the Walking Dead panel. And I think he showed up. I want to say he showed up later.
Was that to promote the second one? Or were they just there?
I think it was after the second one had come out and they were just kind of there.
Oh, okay.
And then we saw Bruce Campbell. He had a panel. That was almost like a stand-up comedy.
I bet it was.
routine.
That'd be awesome.
It was pretty good. But the highlight of the trip, I think, was seeing Stan Lee just in person. Oh yeah. It was pretty cool. So, but
it's gotten so big over the years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and the Chicago one wasn't that big. I mean, I think we've looked at trying to get tickets, and I think they sell out in like 10 minutes or something like that. Something ridiculous. But
yeah, don't you need to get like a special, like if you're going to like the Marvel reveal at San Diego, don't you need that? Isn't it like a waiting list? And you have
and they did a little bit of that in Chicago, at least for the popular ones. So you either had to wait in line or you had to get passes for those panels, and sometimes they cost extra. Sometimes you put your name in, sometimes it's wait in line. But yeah, I mean, I think it's so large now going there and having, I mean, if you wanted to try and if seeing a panel was like one of your things you wanted to do, I feel like you would spend more time either waiting in line or worrying about that than just kind of walking around enjoying the convention. But
it's just crazy. I remember Galaxy Quest, that the comic convention scenes in those movies were just strictly nerds, and now it's like the hot thing.
Yeah,
it's impossible to get into it.
Yeah, it's because all the nerds grew up, and
that's
now
right. Now they have money.
Yep.
Now the nerds rule the world, and they have money.
But yeah, they released quite a bit of stuff. They released quite a few trailers. I don't know if it was premiered at Comic-Con, but the John Wick Chapter 4 trailer came out. Have you seen any of the other John Wick movies?
I've seen all three.
Okay. Fourth one's coming out. Still shooting people in faces.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it looks good. Donnie Yen's in it. So
cool.
As soon as he showed up, it definitely went from 6 to midnight.
Nice.
And I hope that whatever scene they have together is choreographed better than the scene with the Raid guy. That I believe is it the second one. Second one. I was kind of let down a little bit by that one, but again, I mean, Keanu Reeves is like 50, and that guy
he's almost 60.
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves is pushing 60.
So
yeah,
I can't. I mean, I get that it probably can't be as physically active as the Raid movies, because I mean they're just younger actors.
Yep. The third one had the strong. What's his name? Mark Dukakis.
Oh yeah.
He was the Iron Chef guy too.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm. Nice scene. I like the third. I think the third one was probably my favorite.
Right. Have you ever seen Only the Strong with Mark Dukakis?
No.
It's like came out in like 92, 93 when Van Damme was real big. I used to watch that movie all the time. You know, when you're
out with like American Ninja and all those movies.
Oh yeah. And it was Capoeira, the art of dance fighting.
It's legit. It's a legit thing.
It is legit. I still like that movie. It's so nostalgic to me. It's, awesome.
But yeah, John Wick Chapter 4 coming out. So.
I didn't see the trailer. Did you like the trailer though?
Yeah, I did. I mean, they could have just showed Keanu Reeves eating breakfast and it would
have been good.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it was good. Another trailer that was released was Shazam Fury.
Shazam.
Fury of the Gods.
I like the first one.
I like the first one too.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, Levi's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I liked him in Chuck. He had, and I like how he kind of brought that same kind of charisma or that nerdiness.
Yep.
But yeah, he was a perfect guy to play a kid trapped in a grown man's body.
Kind of like Big.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the trailer?
I thought it was only a minute. I think it's going to have the same sort of childlike qualities to it. I like that they're going to dive deeper into the other, I guess, family members that also have the powers now. I don't know who the villain was going to be. They didn't really dive too deep into that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not big on Shazam lore.
I'm not either.
When I watched the trailer, I kind of got a little bit of Spider-Man 2 vibes to where he was not wanting to be a superhero. Like he was just kind of questioning it and which is a typical Act 2 storyline for any hero.
Yeah, you have the powers and now you don't know if it's what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. And I'll probably have to wait for another trailer. I didn't see the first one in the theaters. I'll probably just wait for this one.
Yeah.
For streaming or whatever, but
they're supposed to tie it into Black Adam because I think Black Adam is Shazam's like arch enemy. I think so.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what I thought. And then, we can just talk about the Black Adam trailer. I mean, is he supposed to be an anti-hero in
He's
that?
Supposed to be.
Okay. So
I don't get that vibe though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're trying to go for. I mean, the new trailer, it was very much like the second one. They're just highlighting the Rock's superpowers. They dive into his origins and why he became Black Adam. His son died, and that's why he's kind of this anti-hero. I don't know if they're going to go full into the anti-hero. He's going to be a hero.
Yeah.
With a tragic past like everybody else.
Then how are they going to do
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Well, and Shazam's not even referenced in the trailer, so I don't even know what they're... and there's other superheroes in the Black Adam trailer, and I have no idea who they are, so I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do with this movie. I don't know.
Well, I don't think anyone really cares either because DC sucks. So, listeners, if you're a fan of DC, tell us how we're wrong. Comment. But
well, they're definitely not. They're not good with the not the multiverse, the DC universe, having the movies connect with each other.
Yep.
That's basically not there right now.
Yeah, which I'd be happy if they just did standalone movies.
Me too. I think I'm past this.
I don't want to feel like I have to watch 37 films and 18 TV shows to figure out what's going on.
Oh, the new movie's coming out. I can't wait to go on a 30 movie binge marathon and then touch on the. Speaking of that, what did you think of the Phase 5 and Phase 6?
I only caught the gist of it. I tried. I didn't try. That's a lie. I saw just headlines kind of going through, but I believe 2 Avengers, like the whole lineup that they discussed, I don't care. Like everything they revealed, I was like, not interested in any of that.
Yeah, me too.
Guardians 3, I'll probably watch.
Yeah. I felt it. I felt a sigh of exhaustion come out of my mouth when I'm reading the titles of everything coming out. Like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep doing this.
Yep.
We're just gonna keep going.
I will honestly be shocked if, I mean, I'm sure they will, but I guess let me say, I won't be surprised if they just start dropping films and projects.
You think so?
I mean,
Yeah.
of course,
If you notice,
if it's
though-
not for me, but so, I mean, it's for younger people.
Yeah.
So
If you notice though, Phase 6, there weren't as many titles in it as Phase 5. There may be some weight to your theory here.
okay.
They're not announcing it right now because are they super confident in some of these?
Do
projects?
they know where they're going?
Exactly. Yes, there could be that too. I don't know. But I saw Daredevil's in Phase 5, Born
Yeah.
Again. It's like, no.
I saw the She-Hulk Attorney at Law second trailer,
I didn't see that.
and yeah, that
Doesn't that come out in a couple weeks?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's that's for. That's the thing that's coming out, but they revealed Daredevil at the end of that, so he pops up in that show. But yeah, they announced a new Daredevil project for Disney Plus.
I don't want a Disney-fied version of Daredevil.
It's like Daredevil
after the Netflix
Reborn or
one.
something like that, or I don't know, but it'll have him, Charlie Cox,
Cox,
and then it'll have Vincent D'Onofrio as
Kingpin.
again.
So we're gonna get a watered down version of the dark and gritty version that we got from Netflix.
Yeah,
That doesn't interest me at all.
I never got through the first season of
Daredevil.
You're
missing out. Great show.
I heard it was good.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was just
that was before Deadpool.
Yeah,
and so Deadpool got the cues from Daredevil. Like you can successfully make a dark and gritty like Marvel comic book adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, and then I saw the Thunderbolts. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I don't know what that is.
I guess
I always
think
Marvel Thundercats.
Yeah.
By the eye of
yeah. I think it's supposed to be the Marvel version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because that worked so well for
didn't it?
They even had James Gunn. Granted, the second one was, I didn't see the first one. I saw the second one.
Awful.
The second one was
it was okay.
I like the giant starfish.
Yeah,
I thought that was
it was a James Gunn movie. It was entertaining.
But yeah, saw the Wakanda Forever trailer.
Too.
I thought it was a very good trailer.
Oh yeah, they know how to do trailers for sure.
Very good trailer.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen the first Black Panther, so
yeah.
If Wakanda Forever comes out and has legitimate praise as opposed to the we're gonna say it's good because we don't want to seem racist praise.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably check out Black Panther, then watch Wakanda Forever. But
okay,
I feel like when Black Panther came out, everyone was saying it. I mean, they still say, "Oh, it's the best comic book." No, it's not.
Definitely not.
No one ever says that except magazines. So
right.
All I've heard from the first Black Panther movie was it was okay. And I'm like, all right.
That's right. It's apt.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's
and
okay.
I've heard the same thing for Black Widow. It was okay. Would have been better 10 years ago. Yep.
Yeah.
Have no desire to see that one either.
Yeah.
Eternals. Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, I'm not going to see it. So
I can see that either.
It's like,
no.
I didn't feel like it was anything worth watching. I think I watched Captain Marvel because I think
it came out right before the Avengers.
Yeah, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good." So I was like, "All right, well, I'll see that."
Yeah,
it was okay.
Real boring.
Yeah.
Brie Larson's not charismatic at all
in that movie. She is not charismatic at all.
No.
But yeah, a lot of trailers.
Yeah,
a lot of comic book shit.
Yeah, and I don't even know what kind of forever what they're gonna do with the whole Black Panther thing. I have no idea.
I will say that'll be interesting. How they write themselves out of that, and how they're going to kill them off in the movies. I don't know if out of sign of respect or something, it'll still be like a cancer related thing, but you can't at Wakanda because technology,
because of the vibranium
is something. I don't know. They're smarter than everybody else, so they. I would think same
kryptonite?
reason why it wouldn't make sense to have Natalie Portman have cancer when you have all this Asgardian magic.
It's true.
You have Wakanda down in Africa, that most technologically advanced society, and all this magic, all these aliens, and cancer is still a thing.
Yep. It's unbeatable. It's just an unstoppable force.
It's like a train.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think his sister's going to take over, or the head of the army guard that protects. That's like his
Bald lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever her name is, I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But the trailer looked really good.
Yeah. And long story short, I mean, the phase 5, phase 6 stuff, just reading it, I show no interest in any of that stuff. I really don't care.
I'm at the point I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
It just doesn't appeal to me. It's the same shit.
Yeah. So Disney Plus now has this annoyingly overdone Marvel universe. They have the Star Wars canon IP that they don't even know what they're doing now. And then what else?
Indiana Jones.
That's true. It's coming out. That's coming out again.
Mm-hmm. That'll be good.
Remember when the 2008 one came out and we're like, wow, Harrison Ford's way too old to be doing this.
Yeah. Remember when he was too old? 14 years ago?
Now 14 years. He's going to come out with like your fucking dialysis machine.
Indiana Jones and the Golden Walker.
Yeah. Colostomy bag. He's just going to be
shitting everywhere.
Shitting everywhere. Yep. At least Shia LaBeouf won't be in it.
Maybe
he's gonna come back.
Maybe Short Round will make an appearance.
That'd be awesome.
Have him be. Of course,
that'd be cool.
Like in his 40s. Have him lead like 5 movies or 3 movies or something. That'd be.
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he was pretty awesome in it. I gotta say,
good.
I like him.
So yeah, that was trailers. Comic movies. Blech. I saw The Card Counter.
Oh yeah,
this week. A movie written and directed by Paul Schrader. Taxi Driver. Yep, wrote Taxi Driver. Directed quite a few movies, none of which I've seen. But starred Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, Ty Sheridan, and Willem Dafoe. And it revolves around this gambler who has a mysterious past who tries to kind of redeem what he's done previously in his life. It's more of like a moody type.
Is it a drama
movie? Yeah. It's a drama. But it felt like the movie was just kind of going with like wanting to express a tone or more of a mood.
It's not a character study like Taxi Driver.
No. Because I feel like it's a similar story as it centers around a character that's very questionable. Mm-hmm. And throughout the movie, he's trying to, in a way, redeem himself. But I mean, the acting I thought was good. I did a little bit of research on the movie, and I guess Paul Schrader just did like a couple of takes for each shot. So if they only had 2 takes to go with, I mean, I think the acting was pretty well done. Oscar Isaac, I thought, did a great job.
So he wasn't Stanley Kubrick, where you do 105 takes.
Yeah, no, it definitely was not a perfect movie. But the best thing about this movie, I like the music that they picked. Not the score, but the
like the soundtrack
that they picked fit really well. And the cinematography was fantastic. Really, I mean, the set designs.
Who did it?
I don't know. I didn't do that much research on
it.
Jesus.
His name's probably Hans von
Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber did the cinematography.
Yes. It's a Danish cinematographer. It always is.
Yeah, it could be. Tiffany Haddish was okay.
I believe it's Tiffany Haddish.
Jesus.
You're so hip, Jay.
I am hip. Oh, 2 Ds. Yeah. In English language, that would be a soft A. So, Tiffany Haddish.
Well, she's a comedian. So was she good with like her acting chops?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like she was dialing it like I could tell she was dialing it back.
Back a little bit?
I feel like she wanted to be more expressive
Mhm.
than what she was allowed. Um, Willem Dafoe did fine. He wasn't in that much, but Ty Sheridan, he uh, he's okay. He did a good job playing a kid.
Okay.
Um,
Was he in the Oasis at all?
no, he wasn't. But he played a different character than the Oasis, and he was not as wooden as he was as Cyclops and the X-Men.
X-Men,
So,
okay.
he did okay. I mean,
Right.
it was, but
Way to boost the kid's confidence there, Jay.
he did fine. Didn't blow me away. But no, I mean, he did fine. He didn't stand out. Like when I watched it at the beginning, I was kind of like, what are you doing for your character? And then as I got to know, I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. So, it was, I mean,
It's all right.
overall, I think all the acting like fit, at least in the movie. No one really stood out as like being in a different movie kind of a thing to where they're acting in a way that doesn't make sense.
Did it have a lot of good like card playing scenes? Like Casino Royale or like Rounders or something?
Ironically, it really didn't. It had quite a few poker scenes in it, but it's not a gambling movie.
Huh.
It's about Oscar Isaac's character, who he plays William Tell, trying to earn some kind of redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spoil it just in case anybody wants to see it, but because I mean, I think overall it is good. I think it is worth watching if you are into slower movies.
Okay.
It's not as a deep of a character piece as Taxi Driver, although it does have some of those elements. Cinematography is awesome. Set design's good.
Would you recommend it for me? You think I'd like it?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's not that long. I think it's only like an hour and 50 minutes or something like that.
That's not bad.
But I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's interesting to watch, and I never felt bored.
Okay.
Unlike one of the movies we watched this week.
Yeah. You're really selling it to me, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, it's so good.
I know.
And I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I'll probably watch it. I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I do like Paul Schrader.
Oscar Isaac does really good. He's subdued the entire movie with the exception of a couple of instances. And I enjoyed it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
The card counter.
The card counter.
Who's that cinematographer? Did you even look it up?
God damn it. I had it on the page and I clicked away from it. Hold on. Something Dylan. Ah, Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus.
Like Jacob Dylan.
Alexander. Oh, Dynan.
Oh, he's Danish. He's from Sweden or Finland or some shit.
That's racist. But he's done other Paul Schrader, like First Reformed.
Oh, I saw First Reformed.
Yeah, how was it?
That's very good.
Yeah,
it is.
I might have to watch that just for the cinematography. There's some of the shot. I will say some of the shots in the card counter. I was just like, I have never seen that before. Not so much the shot, but what he was shooting.
Right. And
I like it when movies show you something that you don't see it. Like they went through a walk in a park, and the park had all these lights on it, and it kind of, they weren't Christmas lights, but the whole park was kind of lit up, and I was like, I've never seen that before. I've seen Christmas light displays and everything else, but the way it was presented, the way it was shot, I was like, I've never seen that before. And that's one of my favorite things about movies is
it can surprise you.
Yeah. Well, when you get to see something that you don't see every day, or just surprises you with something that's unique and new.
Cool.
So, yeah,
I'll give it a go.
Cool. I will. I'm gonna try First Reformed.
Yeah, that's good.
Shot by the same person. I'm sure it'll be pretty good. But all right. So,
yep.
First movie we're going to talk about was requested by
Anna.
One of our listeners wrote. She wanted us to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once and touch on how it compared to what we thought and how it compared to Doctor Strange. So when did you see this?
4 days ago. I saw it on Friday. Well, 3 days ago. I saw it on Friday.
Okay.
And spoiler alert for this movie and the next movie, right?
Yeah. Let's do a quick, because I think they're gonna re-release Everything Everywhere All at Once to theaters.
Ooh, are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's been popular.
It's very popular.
Do you just want to do a quick overview impression
Sure.
before spoiler free? Then we can dive into
No
the
problem.
balls deep.
Initial impression, I thought it was very creative, entertaining. But I did think it got bogged down with how smart or creative it was trying to be in the last 20 minutes or so, which made it like 20 minutes too long. But overall, I thought it was highly enjoyable, and I would recommend it.
Yep,
I liked it.
I would recommend it also. I might rewatch it. Some of the humor was hit or miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they tried to do the same thing over and over to try and get laughs, and I was like, you did it once, it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was great overall. Everybody involved, especially Jesus, it's a fucking. I want to say Jonathan Kwan or Short Round, but Ki Kwan, K Kwan.
Yeah.
Great. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jesus Christ. John Smith. Jamie Lee Curtis, I thought did great.
Yeah.
Obviously, strong similarities between dream walking and verse jumping with Doctor Strange. The cinematography, I liked how a lot of those effects were in camera.
Yeah.
And very simple editing techniques were used.
Oh yeah.
The editing and pacing, I felt if the editing felt low key for what it was. I felt like they easily could have blown it up with a lot of special effects, which I feel like it wasn't over the top with the amount that they used. They could have made it really ridiculous, but they didn't. But the pacing, I thought, dragged in some moments, especially when they stopped the info dump. I feel like some of the exposition they could have done a little bit more organically. But overall, I recommend it. I'm sure I'll rewatch it.
Yeah, me too.
I could see this being, it reminded me of when I was watching it, it reminded me a little bit of Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer, Stephen Chow films.
I've seen Kung Fu Hustle.
Shaolin Soccer was, I believe, a movie before he did both those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the humor was a little bit absurdist and just kind of out there, which Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer kind of have that goofy comedy segments with cool choreographed fight scenes and stuff. So I was kind of getting that feeling. But I like those movies, so it's fine. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I would say my only con is Evelyn's progression. I feel being a little bit more natural than, but I mean, the movie takes place in a short amount of time. I think it takes place within a day or something like
one
that.
Day.
So they had some limitations there, but overall, yeah, recommend it.
I do too. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of The Matrix in that the filmmaking techniques and the overall tone was just something that I hadn't really seen either before or a whole lot of, which I like. I like how creative it was trying to be, for sure.
And you could tell the idea was thought out for the most part. I think it probably could have been executed a little bit better, but I mean, for the length of the movie that they had, I think I agree with you. Maybe a tidbit too long. I'm glad they didn't bust it out into a mini series or anything like that, because I really would have dragged it. But overall, yeah, recommend it. Want to get in the spoilers?
Sure.
Cool.
Now that I think about the length, maybe that was intentional, because everything, everywhere, all at once. Maybe it wants to give you that feeling of we're just going to bombard you and overload you to the point where you're like, God, is this movie going to be? When's the ending point here? Especially towards the end, the climax, Jay, in the on the stairwell. I thought that was going to end like 3 times. I felt like I was watching Lord of the Rings. Like, how many endings does this thing have?
All of them. It has all the endings.
Exactly. But yeah, that's probably, and I thought they were getting a little too cute with how to verse jump. So for those that haven't seen the movie, the spoilers, by the way, in order to jump to a different verse, you have to do a random act that could not be predicted, so that you could time jump or verse jump
Yeah.
to another consciousness, another multiverse, which doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Let's have fun with it. So you get like people jamming shit up their ass. You get people like picking their nose, eating their booger, singing a song,
Eating chapstick,
whatever the case may be. And that just got, it was a cool joke, maybe once or twice or maybe 3 times, but then it just got kind of, all right. I get it.
Like some of the humor, like I said before, it was hit or miss. They kept making, whenever Evelyn's character would mispronounce something.
Yes.
Like that was a point of humor. And I'm like, the first time, yeah, and then they kept doing it with Raccoonie and I felt like they were just going back to that well too many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the physical comedy more in that movie than it was all written, but the verbal, the spoken comedy. I liked the slapstickiness of it, like the hot dog finger universe.
Yeah.
I love goofy shit like that's just weird like that, and people trying to play straight with
that was
something weird.
I liked it. I liked the homage of 2001. The hot dog finger ape killed off the last normal. That was pretty cool. That was cool. But then like they kept going back to it, and Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis have a romantic relationship, and they're having intimate moments with the hot dog fingers. And I was like, why is this weirding me out right now?
It's supposed to.
You're trying to make me uncomfortable. Okay. I guess the hidden meaning of that is love can be in the weirdest of circumstances or just the weirdest of places. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the Raccoonie joke were a little too long. It reminded me of that scene where it was trying to like towards the end where she's trying to right the wrongs of all her selves and the different universes in the Raccoonie universe, where she's like, all right, let's go save the raccoon, and then like the raccoon's in the cage, and it's like this shitty animatronic raccoon. It's like trying to be very emotional. It reminded me of like Castaway and Wilson, where you're like, it's a volleyball or it's a raccoon. What are we doing here? But I did like that joke because they referenced Ratatouille because she was saying Ratatouille wrong.
That and then is where I think it worked, because then they showed a Raccoonie.
Yeah.
And
I laughed out loud when she lifted because I wasn't even expecting that. And then it's absurd and ridiculous and funny at the same time. But then it kind of just kept going back to it, and it kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit for me. But there was a fucking universe with hot dog fingers. So I mean, absurdity is the name of the game.
Very good. I like how this explored more universes than overall, I think, this movie was, I think they started writing it in 2010. You can tell they spent a lot more time with this movie than what they did writing Doctor Strange.
Absolutely.
Doctor Strange, you had a couple of weird universes. Here you had, I didn't count them, but it felt like at least 10. And that you kept going back to. So it's not like, here's a quick joke, and then you never see it again.
Yeah.
You have the Rock universe they kept going back to. The Bagel universe, you had the, I think they did an animation.
Yep.
Universe, the sausage fingers, the hot dog fingers.
The one where she's a martial artist, like a movie star.
Where she plays herself.
That's pretty cool.
And then the Alpha universe, they had, you felt like it was a lot more of a complete world that they had done, as opposed to Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And they had to be more creative too with the budget. They didn't have $200 million to do this. So.
Yeah. And I think I like it when people are constrained, because I think it usually makes for a better movie. People have to be more creative. Some of the cons though, I stated in the overview or the spoiler free portion, I wanted Evelyn to find out more organically about things. I felt at times Wayland was info dumping too much, and I know they do that for the benefit of the audience and everything else, but I think I wish it would have just been done a little bit more naturally.
Hmm.
Same thing with her verse jumping up to a bunch of random places, and she just happens to verse jump to the things that she needed to do at that time, like
Oh,
her
yeah,
spinning
yeah.
a sign or something. I'm like, you you could first jump to a universe where you do nothing but shit your pants. How's that gonna
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like? So I was waiting for something like horrible to happen to where she would then have to listen to the Alpha universe to help her
Oh, okay. I
jump.
gotcha.
But then, because I felt like her,
That could have been a great joke, by the way.
yeah, and because I didn't feel like, because I think she was doing like a bunch of. There was a time where it was very explicit. She was doing a bunch of them to try and get to the stage that her daughter was
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
Um,
'Cause that's how you could defeat her.
yeah. But earlier in the movie, when she was just doing it randomly, I didn't feel like she had that conviction at that time, or at least it didn't make sense to me that she had that conviction at that time. But
Yeah. I do like the themes of the movie, the characters in it.
what do you think the theme is? Because I, Christy and I watched it, and I, after I finished watching it, I had a very distinct feeling as far as what I thought the theme was, and that I looked online as far as like a couple
Mhm.
of what the director said their theme was, and I was like, yeah, that's probably a better one than the one that I
You thought of?
Yeah. So, but yeah, talk about.
there's
Wait.
a bunch of different themes in it. Like everyone's so nihilistic nowadays. Like nothing matters. Why would anything matter if you know everything and you just eventually die? If you have regrets, like the easy way around all that stuff is just to think that nothing matters and to be so nihilistic.
Mhm.
So I thought they explored that very well with her daughter and the everything bagel.
Mhm.
I don't know how I feel about that like metaphor. Like,
What,
I
that
had
it's
to make
okay
that-
to be
no,
nihilist?
the everything bagel itself,
Gaia.
just representing like, would I want that to be my symbol of nihilism and everything bagel? And maybe it is for the Daniels, because that's what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be the symbol of nihilism. But anyway, there's that, and then obviously regrets for choices in life.
Yeah.
You could have gone down this path or that path, whatever. That's obvious. But to me, I thought the theme was it doesn't really, yeah, it kind of doesn't matter what choices you are, but as long as you see the good in things and the best outlooks on things, I mean,
Mhm.
you're going to end up being happy
Mhm.
regardless of your circumstance. I think that's the major theme, but I
But-
could be wrong. What are the Daniels have
Well,
to say
Daniel
about
said it was mainly about generational relationships.
it? Okay.
So, and then being able to cut through the bullshit and be able to relate with the younger or older generations of your families. I mean, part of it was like that. Part of it was the nihilistic nihilism, how they think a lot of younger people are nihilistic.
Mhm.
They think nothing matters. So, I mean, some of the ones you touched on were the same things that they were going for. But they were also saying how to be able to connect with your children, sometimes you need to get on their level.
Yeah.
And which I was like, yep, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But my view, what I thought, like we got done with the movie and I turned to Christy, I was like, well, see, suicide isn't worth it. I thought it was an anti-suicide movie, and
All right.
because it kind of keyed into nihilism, but I thought they were looking at I thought it was kind of praising nihilism a little bit
Okay.
for this, and follow me on this for a little bit.
Oh,
So
I'll follow you.
yeah, follow me down the dark hall as we talk about suicide.
Yes.
So you have the everything bagel, and she states that the Jabberwocky, that's not her.
Jabutupaki.
Yes. So Jabberwocky tells her mother that I wasn't destroying the universe. I was waiting. I was hoping you would be here so then we can kind of do this together. I thought she was talking about suicide. She just didn't want to go alone. And because then just with the feeling of being overwhelmed with everything going on in her life, she has all these things bombarding her at all times, and she just wanted to end it. And that's why she went to the rock universe, to where she could just kind of be a rock, chill out for a little bit. And so I thought it was more of a sense of I got, for some reason, it being an anti-suicide film, to where if you feel bombarded with all this shit, the answer isn't bringing other people with you or anything like that. It's just nothing matters. The only thing that matters are the relationships you have with the people you care about, kind of a thing. So, or reaching out to that connection to prevent you from doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the main thing that I got. And then, it's about parents and children and their relationship together. I was like, yeah, I guess that'd probably be a better thing.
But no, Jay wants to talk about suicide. Yeah, let's talk about suicide.
But I need to stop saying
Yeah.
But I mean, regrets. I mean, I think it touched on a lot of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And, I think it did a good job presenting all those different ideas. Because I mean, one of the major things was regrets of a life not lived.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think they did a good job with that from the onset.
One of the best lines: "I saw my life without you. I wish you could have seen it. It was beautiful." That was awesome. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, and
how it was delivered too.
And this is something I feel like I would want to rewatch, because I'm sure. I mean, there's lines like that. Wayland had a couple of good lines too. I mean, like, what was it? It's just, nothing matters. Be nice. Be kind.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. He was. What'd you think of K Hui Kwan, Short Round, or Data? Whatever, whether you were a Goonie fan or an Indiana Jones fan, this is Hui Kwan.
I thought he did phenomenal.
He was awesome.
I don't know if he's been doing theater in between, but I think this is the first movie he's done in like 10 years.
Yeah, I think so. I think he retired in like 06 or something.
He's been a stunt coordinator, which he was stunt coordinator for The One, which is another
the classic
multiverse movie with Jet Li and Jason Statham. Not mine. And but I thought he did a great job, especially.
What do you think of the alley scene?
Where
Michelle Yeoh.
alley. I was thinking ALLIE. No,
that was awesome.
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Just showing two characters like that discussing
what could have been,
and
he delivered it so well. I was so shocked because I thought he was mainly going to be in it for the fighting, because I knew he's a stunt coordinator, and he did. By the way, he was great in it.
Yeah,
he's like 40. How old is he?
I don't know, he's in his 40s.
He's old. He was still killing it.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh is Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh, she is, I think, 12 years older than him. So, and he was born in 70 something. God damn it.
Technical difficulties.
Fucking Wi-Fi. Ugh. Well, but yeah, he's like, and she's only, I think she is 50. So, I mean, he's probably in his mid 40s, to late 40s.
Yeah.
But acting wise, not being in front of a camera that long. Of course, it's not like he left the industry. So he's been on sets this whole time. But I thought he did phenomenal with his role. Yeah. I mean, he had different versions of himself that he was playing. All of them were very believable. I thought he did fantastic.
Yeah, I did too.
I hope he gets in more movies because I want to see him in more stuff.
Absolutely.
I think he killed it.
He did. I was shocked. And I liked his moment too, where he was like, just be kind, love. How because she was gonna go to the dark side there for a second.
And I like that they put that twist in there to where at the beginning of the film she says like, "Oh, your father would be lost without me," or "What would your father do without me?"
Yeah.
And then they put that twist in there to where he's the one considering divorce because he just feels slighted or ignored and he's just not paid attention to anymore. And then they realize that obviously they have that turn to where she would have been lost without him because he was able to undo her abrasiveness with his own kindness, to where it's kind of the opposites attract thing, to where she always thinks he's going to mess it up, to where he's actually making it better because of how he's treating other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the shots of when she decides to go to America with him and they're like uncovering the washing machines and the coin laundry. It's all dusty and dark, how she remembers it. And then they show from the point of view when she's pregnant in the same coin laundry room. It's all brightly lit and she looks so happy. It's like, this is how you remember it, but this is how I remember it. You know, it's kind of like it's all from a perspective of how you, whatever lens you view it from. And
which they touch on that a little bit when they're talking about Gong Gong, James Hong's character, the New Year party.
Yeah.
And he says, well, we've built a wonderful life together. And like he says that when they're like really close, and then the camera shoots back ultra wide when from her perspective.
Oh yeah.
Just to where it's like a messy house, everything's cluttered, and she's just like
What'd you think of James Hong? He's like Samuel L. Jackson.
He's always
just
good.
He's just prolific.
God, how much?
He's been in so many things. I think I counted. He had like 469 credits to his name.
Oh, probably.
He was in Chinatown, all the way back in Chinatown.
I got the Wi-Fi again.
There you go.
Technology. Yeah. 454 acting credits.
It's like every decade of movie that I've ever watched. There's always James Hong is in some form or another in one movie. Just jumps in there. He's in everything.
God, you're actually using correct pronunciation. I'm just James Hong.
Hong, sorry.
Hong. No, I'm probably messing it up. I can find out, but
I like the idea of the current Evelyn is the worst version of any Evelyn, and thus has the potential for anything.
You aren't good at anything. You were horrible.
You were the worst version of yours. There's infinite versions of you. You're the worst one, which is why you have the potential for anything. What a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. I like the best line was when she's doing a flashback of when she's being born, and they hand it to James Hong. The doctor says, "I'm sorry, it's a girl."
That's a nice touch. It's just like there's a bunch of those little moments. Throwaway lines that they would.
And James Hong's face was just it went from happy to just disappointment. So good. Going back to the nihilism and nothing matters. I liked that the daughter had that nihilistic point of view, because I remember I used to think like that for a brief period of time. Like when you go into college, you're just like, nothing matters. This is all bullshit. You know, you go through that phase in life, and you're trying to be more interesting than you already are for the sake of being cool or thought provoking. But you know, you don't understand shit or know shit at that time. You haven't lived long enough to gain any sense of wisdom on anything.
Yeah.
So they could have done it to where Evelyn was the all-knowing thing, and you could have gone through the adventure with the daughter. I don't remember what the actress's name is. Damn, I forget. She was good in it too.
Stephanie Sue.
They could have reversed the roles, but they didn't. It made sense for the daughter to think that way, because I remember thinking that way when I was younger. You think you know everything. It's a good juxtaposition of, oh, you think you know so much, huh, that nothing matters, but you haven't experienced anything. You didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
I mean, but in a way, I mean, they did make a point that nothing matters. I like the analogy they used.
That's true too.
I like the analogy they use that every scientific breakthrough just reveals how little humanity actually matters in the overall universe of things.
Okay.
So I kind of like that. That idea, because I mean, I've seen scale videos on YouTube to where they actually show you the scale of the universe. They just keep zooming out.
Makes you feel like.
And I'm like, yeah, whenever I feel like flustered or something like that, I'll watch one of those, and I'm like, yeah, it don't fucking matter. No one's gonna care in 100 years. And then I just go on about my day. And but I mean, I do think there is I feel like the movie does make at least some point to where everything doesn't matter. Obviously, nothing never matters, but you get what I'm saying. It's not. It's like don't feel bogged down or don't. Nothing is so important that it's worth throwing everything away.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's things that matter and things that people need to pay attention to, but I do also think that there are some people that just try and do everything everywhere
all at once.
And
yeah.
But
did you like how they broke it down into parts, like 3 parts? I didn't really see the distinction between everything and everywhere. I was trying to like.
I think it was.
I think I get everything in that she was receiving all this information.
She was being bombarded by external forces and everything else, to where when she went to everywhere, that's when she was doing a lot of reverse jumping.
Yeah.
And then all at once is when she just kind of got everything.
Yeah. And her last line was, are you listening to me? She said, say that again.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then it cut to black.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was, I mean, I can get past like the, them trying to be a little too creative than they needed to be, and the fact that it went a little long, and it could have ended like 20 minutes early. That scene in the IRS, I mean, it pretty much took place in the IRS building, but on the staircase where she's there, everything Bagel is there, and she's talking to her daughter, and I swear it just went to another a version of themselves, and then another version. I'm like, when are you guys gonna end this? I think we understand the message and the theme.
They're reverse hopping together.
Yeah.
It fell at times to drag a little bit. I mean, by all means, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I enjoy movies like this that are different and unique enough and actually kind of share. I like unique movies, and I'm glad they still worked on it, because I feel like, well, I read that they stopped watching Rick and Morty, and then because they were doing universe jumps.
Yeah.
And because they started with this in like 2010, and then they were kind of getting bummed out with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And they're like, shit, everyone's doing all these ideas that we came up with. We thought were so cool and unique, but I'm glad they kept with it and released it anyways, because it was different enough and it was a lot better done, I think, than Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
It was just thought of, well, Doctor Strange has to worry about 15 other movies and not messing up any other kind of continuity there, maybe. But I'm glad they released it anyways. I'm interested. If nothing else, this got me interested in watching Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Which is their previous movie, which I heard was like just absurdly, like same kind of absurd humor, but it was still really good.
Yep.
Which Paul Dano.
I'm sure it's going to be great. You got a little Daniel Radcliffe in there.
Yeah. His name is Harry Potter.
Sorry.
He's a wizard.
Gryffindor.
But I mean, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I think it was a little too hyped up.
I think so too. That's fair.
But it's not bad by any means. I would say so far, spoiler alert for our next review, maybe it's probably my second favorite movie. Came out this year.
Trying to think what else came out.
Thor.
You can see my not so shocked face. Jurassic Park. Sorry, I keep calling it Jurassic Park. It's not even the fucking title because I don't care.
No one cares. Everyone fell asleep in that movie.
Exactly. And they're
rebooting it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I loved the scene in the hallway where she's the daughter's like fighting off the guards or whatever, and she's going into, and they're editing it in a way to like she edits into like a wrestler. So then like in midair she goes into like a pile driver with that's just a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's not expensive special effects. They just did editing techniques that were.
Yeah, I like how I like how the Jabberwocky changes her appearance all the time.
Yeah.
Because which I think fits really well at that age too. She gets tired of the way she looks.
Yeah.
She typical teenager, young 20 something, and I'm assuming that's how old she was supposed to be. But
20 something.
Yeah. So, but that was pretty good.
Yeah.
The acting, I mean,
Fantastic.
so good.
Yeah. Good choice. They're supposed to, it was supposed to be for Jackie Chan.
Saw that.
And he dipped out for whatever reason.
I'm glad.
Me too.
So
Michelle Yeoh's a better actor. She is.
Mm-hmm. And
he wouldn't have had Short Round.
Exactly.
I think Short Round stole the show. He was awesome.
He was good. I mean, he was because I was interested in seeing just how well he would be able to be in this movie, and I didn't because I think version of himself gets killed off in the early. I'm like, no, and then I was like, oh, okay, he's not.
Yeah, he's not completely out of this. Yeah,
like good.
I recommend it. I liked it better than Doctor Strange.
Nope, I did too,
for sure.
Thank you, Anna, for recommending this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
I liked it. Thank God. Yeah. Talking about movies that I like.
Finally, a movie. Jesus Christ.
I feel like we just shit on movies.
Well, they need to start making them better, and we won't shit on them. It's their fault.
That's the truth. It is their fault.
Jesus.
They have enough money, right? How much money do you need? How much money do you honestly need?
Money can't fix stupid, Matt.
Got that in a fortune cookie, right?
No. Made it up.
I made it up. It was on my toilet paper roll.
Also, well, our second movie this weekend, Jordan Peele released his third film called Nope.
The Main Event.
The Main Event.
Yes.
Spoiler free first impressions.
Sure.
Before we get balls deep. That's what we should have named the podcast.
Balls Deep?
Balls Deep with Matt and Jay. Jay and Matt get balls deep.
Oh, what our artwork would have been. Jesus Christ.
Probably would look similar to something that was in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go first this time. Overall, I don't know. If you're into sci-fi, I'd recommend it. Mm-hmm. Cinematography I thought was amazing. The story was okay. If there was social commentary, which I guess he tends to put in his movies, this is the first Jordan Peele movie I've seen. I think the social commentary was a miss. If there was social commentary, but the acting I thought was good. Jesus Christ, again, I'm sorry. They need to start spelling these actors' names phonetically.
Yeah.
So that way I don't sound like a retard when I butcher everyone's names. Because I don't watch interviews. I never hear anybody say the names. It's always written. But Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought he killed it. Keke Palmer, similar to what you said.
What she had.
What she had was good. I thought she was a little annoying.
Yeah.
To me.
At times.
Just too energetic.
Yeah.
Like just calm the fuck down.
Right.
But I mean, those two together, I thought they had great chemistry as brother and sister. I thought they, when they were both on screen, I thought as when they were at their best. Even though, I mean, Daniel was able to, I felt like, carry a scene by himself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I thought he did really well. Michael Wilcott
was
very, very captivating in that role. Before I knew he was going to be a major or more of a side character, he was first introduced like the very beginning of the movie as the cinematographer for the commercial. And I think he had like one line.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is that?
I
mean, and he was like far off in the distance. He did great. The guy who played Angel was fine. But the first half reminded me of Signs. Last half, I got some Jaws feelings. But both those instances reminded me of overall better movies.
Yeah.
And which I'm not sure you want, but I think it could have been a little bit shorter. I think it dragged a little bit in the middle. Overall, I think I might rewatch it sometime. I won't be in any hurry to rewatch it, but I mean, if you're into alien sci-fi kind of movies, I mean, I'd recommend it. I don't know if you, I mean, the cinematography is really good. I think it probably deserves a theater watch because some of the scenes, I think play very well to a larger screen.
Yeah.
But I mean, the pacing first half of the movie was good. Classical was kind of like classical horror suspense. Second, I felt like it kind of started going off the rails a little bit. And I felt some of the characters at times were making some weird choices that really didn't make sense. But overall, I'd recommend it. Maybe I'll rewatch it a year or two later, see if I pick out something.
Okay.
Something else. What'd you think?
I'm hoping you can talk me off the ledge here, Jay. I was thinking about
nothing matters.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. As I'm watching this movie, I'm slowly but surely realizing that, am I watching a movie about a flying butthole monster right now? Is that where they're going with this? Sorry. Because I got that sense when OJ said it doesn't move like a ship. When he said that, I'm like, oh God, yeah, this isn't a ship. It's probably a monster. And then as it's eating things, I'm like, this is a flying butthole. And there's shots in it where it's transforming. It doesn't quite transform into the final form as it does. And it like wrinkles in the distance, like it's trying to.
Like
and as
a glorious rectum.
Yes, as it's wrinkling, I'm like, that's like that's like a starfish.
That's
a chocolate star.
It's a fucking pucker.
He's puckering. And when that's happening, I'm like, is Jordan Peele fucking with me right now? Is he trying to make it look like a butthole? Is that what the goal is right now? And I was angry because I go into this movie thinking that I'm going to see an alien movie, like a cool alien, not an invasion movie, but a movie about aliens. What's their intent? What's the purpose? What's the journey going to be like discovering this new alien that's stalking them or whatever? And
let's just go into spoilers because
yes.
So that way we can, because I recommend it. I don't think you do.
No.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Jay, I hated this movie.
Okay.
I really did. But you can talk me off the ledge, please do.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But
oh my God.
There's I think this is going to be one of those. It could have been better.
Yeah.
Here's how you make it better.
Yeah. That was my first impression. I was just angry. Most of my viewing experience, I was just angry, especially after you realize that it isn't a UFO. I was mad because the trailers make you think. And maybe that's the whole point of them. Like you go in there, you think it's one thing, and oh, psych, we subverted your expectations. Isn't that awesome? And no, it's not awesome. It's not awesome at all.
Yeah.
And if you're making a monster movie, which is what you did, it's not scary. It's not scary at all. There's one scene that's creepy.
Yep.
And I was at that point, I'm like, oh God, this is like, I'm in for like a nice little thrill ride here. Scary, like horror suspense thing. And
that is probably my favorite scene. So the scene in the barn is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was, for the first part of that scene, I felt the same. I was like, this is going to be awesome.
Yes.
And then once he was holding his camera and then the head started like creeping around like slowly. And I was like, wait, that's when I was first like, wait a minute. Why the fuck would an alien like slowly like put a big dome like popping out of the thing? And I was like, that doesn't make, and then he punches the next one that drops down and it's the kids.
Yeah.
But the beginning part of that scene, I thought was great. I think he should have kept with that tone the entire time because it wasn't scary. Once they revealed what the monster was, I will say I liked the idea that a flying saucer is not a ship. It's an actual alien or some kind of life form. I liked the creature design. when it was like unfurled, not when it was just showing its butthole, like furling with the streamers and everything else. That I was like, what the fuck is it doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it peacocking? Like, is it trying? Because it never did that throughout the whole rest of the movie. It would just suck it up through its eating hole.
Yeah.
And
it's butthole.
And now he's unfurling like he looked like he was peacocking.
Yep.
And I was like, well, is he trying to be intimidating? It just didn't make any sense because I was waiting. I was like, okay, so the fuck is it doing?
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't, I didn't think it was going to kill them. I was waiting for a laser or some shit to like poke out or do something, but it was just unfurling butthole after another butthole with an internal butthole, and it wasn't doing anything, so it didn't make any sense. But
no.
My biggest gripe, I think, of this movie, other than the shift in tone, which I don't think worked for this movie, because I think it took all the suspense and all the entertainment value and just flushed it down the drain. When it went from, oh, what is it, to, oh, this is what it is, and we're going to take a picture of it. Was you have Keith David in a movie, and he's in there for 30 seconds.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I was super mad. I didn't even know he was in it. And when he was the dad, I'm like, oh my God, Keith David's in this movie. I love Keith David. Awesome. And you're right. He dies like right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
And then the opening credits went and it was like, and Keith David. I was like, well, maybe he's coming back. Nope. That's the end credit.
He's gone.
But
I thought that setup was cool. I like the slow 20-minute build in there where I like that aspect of movies where you're discovering what are you dealing with.
Yep. And I felt like it dragged slightly at the beginning, but I was giving it the benefit of the doubt because I was like, okay, I was trying to calm myself down. I was like, we're learning about these characters, the situation that they're in. It's going to mean something later on. No, it didn't. But because you see him at the commercial and his sister's running late because she has 15 million different jobs that she's trying to do at the same time. And other than just to show that he's more inclined in tune with animals and she's more of a people person, I really didn't. And I guess introducing I just didn't. I don't know. I don't think it worked overall.
Right. What did you think of? Okay, so the movie opens with the chimp massacring everybody and like on like a TV show. Yeah. Obviously, that's what was going on. There's a shoe that's kind of just upright, defying gravity. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a symbol here, some sort of symbolism. And then it cuts away, and then it goes to David Kaluuya's character, OJ. So that's in the back of my mind the whole time. Like, what was the purpose of that? There's some sort of theme, and there was also like biblical quotes, like to start the movie off. Can't remember at the top of my head, but watching them. That's another reason why I got so angry at the movie. I'm trying to understand what is the theme here.
There is no theme.
What is he trying to say?
He's not trying to say anything. This reminds me, my previous job. Someone I worked with had to do an art installation, and he was a video guy, so he was going to do a video art installation, and he told me about it like 2 months ahead of time. Time goes by and doesn't have anything, and then he's like, didn't have anything, and then he ended up shooting the sky and superimposed some other things into it, and it was just kind of like a video loop, and he set up a bunch of different monitors on a shelf and everything else. He's like, what does it mean? And I was like, make some bullshit up, man. Yeah. I was like, this is interpretive art. Like no one's going to fucking buy it.
There's no one real reason.
Yeah.
So
and
anyone will do.
Yeah. And I was like, just pull something out of your ass and say, oh, I meant to do that. Or this is what it means. No, that I felt the exact same way after watching this. Now, afterwards, I didn't read reviews. I looked up articles, quote unquote, decoding or interpreting what things meant in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several themes that were brought up. One was capitalism, trying to, it was a commentary on trying to um, contain wild animals for profit.
Okay.
There was a commentary on the overlook of African American history or notable achievements of African American history.
Mm-hmm.
And then those just kind of being washed away with history as far as
Mm-hmm.
not being
Recognized.
And then there was everything has a meaning. So you have it's a whole commentary on the entertainment system to where you have Stephen Yin,
I think.
is a former child star, but due to traumatic events in his childhood, he makes poor decisions later on in life. So he witnesses the monkey beating the shit and killing the sitcom actors, and then he more or less loses control of his own animal that he's charging people admission for, and kills everyone around him. And then you have TMZ, whose
Mm-hmm.
mirrored helmet is reflecting our own desires to see horrible things. And then you have people trying to with the TikTok generation of trying to get things on camera to get views and to
Mm-hmm.
stream it and everything else, and all this other crap. And then you have the older white guy cinematographer that is doing it for the art, and that's what he just wants, that perfect shot. And
Yeah.
and everything. So everything was kind. All those I think are like I was like, I don't think that they were well thought out. Most of those I feel like didn't work. The only thing I could think of is that held some kind of weight was notable achievements by Black Americans in history have been not recognized recently. And then OJ and what's the sister's name? I forget.
Don't remember.
Oh no. I want to say Emerald. Okay.
Emerald.
And it's their story trying to get that achievement back.
Mm-hmm.
So since their great grandfather was on the first film, they wanted to get the first film of another alien,
right?
Kind of a thing, to where, I mean, I guess a commentary on that. That was the only thing that I felt was like, okay, that would make sense, because she explains it in the beginning of the movie. And they touch on a little bit. I mean, there's some interviews I've heard or briefly seen to where Jordan Peele like said that, it's about people trying to profit off spectacle or fame and stuff like that, which I'm like, but then what are you saying about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is it good or is it bad? Or is it just because you have some characters that come out on top and you have some characters that get punished for it, pretty much doing the same thing that
you're trying to rally against.
OJ and Emerald are doing. So it doesn't make sense. It's a mishmash of views. You don't have a clear cut direction as far as what you're trying to say. So I think there probably wasn't anything there is that was supposed to be said, because Jordan Peele said in an interview he wrote this during a time where he thought cinemas were going to die. So he wanted to write a big movie, a spectacle movie, and have it be something that people would want to go to the theaters to see.
Right.
That, I think, is what he did. I feel like he got maybe 3/4, 4/5, 9/16, whatever, like somewhere in the writing process. He talked himself into it, or maybe he felt like he needed some kind of comment, like he just had random stuff in there that just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And going back to the story of the guy I used to work with, maybe he's just like, well, I'll just put some weird shit in there and maybe people.
Right. It was kind of half thought out.
Yeah. And that's
thought all the way through.
Now, I think the spectacle of the alien in the first half, I thought was well done.
Yeah. Me too.
I felt like that was more thought out than the second half.
Yeah.
But as far as commentary, I mean, people are going to pick this shit apart because they feel like there's probably some inner meaning
Oh yeah.
to where sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I mean, unless Jordan Peele comes out and says, oh, because I think he even said in interviews, oh, it means what you think it means. Well, I don't think it means shit. So
I don't either. Well, going back to the spectacle theme, I think I read like 5 reviews and all of them mentioned spectacle. You know, that we're obsessed with spectacle in our current environment, whether that's TV shows or a horrific accident or event that happens, or if it's UFOs themselves or whatever the case may be. And the whole movie is, if that's the theme of your movie, you should be opposed to I guess, or you're saying we should be opposed to spectacle, but the movie ends with Emerald, right? So Michael Wilcott, the TMZ reporter, Stephen Yeun in the audience, you know, they all get sucked up through the butthole.
Yeah, some people get punished, others don't.
Right, and then Emerald takes the shot. She gets the shot that she's been trying to get the entire movie.
Yeah, out of a well. That's the most unbelievable part of the movie, by the way. Being able to just line that up with not even wind, with the balloon thing going
right over it,
and everything else,
cranking it. Yeah. It's analog. Right at the moment that it comes. Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable. But my point is, you're supposed to. You're against the spectacle theme, right? We shouldn't be obsessed with spectacle, but the person obsessed with spectacle gets what she wants at the end of the movie. So what are you trying to say here?
And not to mention, he grabs cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema, who, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with John Smith?
Why can't
for a fucking name?
Where are the owls at? Where are the dicks?
Give me an easy dick any day, and I could say it all day. So, but it's the same cinematographer that works with Christopher Nolan.
No shit.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's why I think it looks
great,
amazing.
It does look great.
It flip flops back and forth.
Yeah.
And if you're like, well, leave it up to the audience to decide. No, that's not saying anything. That's just being a puss.
Kind of being lazy almost.
A little bit. And
it's a little lazy.
But I don't think I want to give Jordan Peele the benefit of the doubt to where, I mean, maybe he just didn't have anything to say, and that's perfectly fine. I did not catch, I mean, nothing was blatantly hit over the head or just even somewhat subtextually shown, I feel like, as far as social commentary, which I don't think he needs to have social commentary in every
He doesn't need to
movie he has. I think this movie especially, it would have been better if he did a big budget, because I mean, I don't know how much money he had, but I mean, they had some decent money, but same setting, same kind of premise, but do straight horror or suspense throughout.
Yes. And
because you rarely get those big budget IMAX shot horror films.
Yeah.
And I think it was a missed opportunity. I mean, hopefully listeners, you're not thinking, oh, they just don't get it. And I'm sure you're going to get people.
I know.
You're going to get some people like, oh, I hate it. Oh, you just don't get it. Like, it's just if it's well done enough, it should be somewhat easily grasped.
Yeah.
To where I've heard Get Out. I don't think anyone had a problem with picking out the subtext of that movie.
No.
That's why I don't feel like this one really had one. If it was, I feel like it was just kind of darts thrown at a wall. Like, I'll just add some weird random stuff that quote unquote represents something, or maybe it represents something kind of a thing to where, but hopefully he wasn't feel like he was forced to put something like that in his movie, because I don't want him to turn into M. Night Shyamalan to where he's worried about a twist more so than the actual content.
The content in the story. That's what I feel like this felt like to me. This really felt like after I saw The Village, where the twist, I got so angry. Like, you're just doing a twist now for the sake of doing a twist. I mean, it was fine the way it was.
Yeah, it was a good.
It was. I thought it was very good until it ended.
Yep.
Like, why did you have to? You didn't need a twist. You didn't need a twist. It could have been a nice little colonial whatever setting movie.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking about these assholes that started this community and made up this monster that inadvertently killed a lot of people.
Right.
as opposed to
Right.
the actual monster that was supposed to.
Right. And I'm fine with movies subverting my expectations, Jay, but I don't like how if you market a movie as one thing and then you go in there and it's something completely different. I don't mind having like twist endings if it services the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
You marketed it as an alien, like an alien abduction movie, an alien horror movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that.
Yeah.
Made me angry.
Yeah.
Very angry. The fact that you made the monster a butthole. I thought he purposely did that to fuck with the audience.
He made it a butthole because it was a symbolism that he was shitting on the audience.
Exactly.
And
it's like a giant number 2 on us.
The creature design didn't bother me as much. I liked it. I liked the concept of it. I liked it unfurled in its full cloud jellyfish state. I think it should have just been a straight horror film because I can't think of another big budget horror film that I think could have been set up for success as much as what this one could have been.
I know. Yeah, and everything going for him.
And because when it goes to the second half, all the suspense, all the tension, everything just goes right out the window.
Yep.
As soon as they're like, oh, well, we're going to steal a bunch of car batteries and all this. We're going to get the big inflatable guys. I mean, they do the Jaws thing. Instead of barrels, you have the inflatable guys that will like turn off. So it's like things start shutting down as it gets closer and stuff. But characters start being weird.
Yep.
Like the monkey thing. I mean, maybe he didn't learn his lesson when he was a kid. Like, hey, don't have wild animals.
Yeah.
Be your bread and butter because you can't control them, kind of a thing.
I mean, that's all he had to do to make a living.
Yeah, he had a perfectly good theme park right there.
Well,
he's been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah.
For 6 months, word of mouth hasn't spread. Like, guys, there's a fucking alien at this park. Go, like, those seats would be filled.
Oh, yeah.
And that didn't make sense. Another thing that didn't make sense is the cinematographer decides he wants to harikari himself and grab the camera and I was like, oh, it's almost magic hour. In which I like how Angel said, he's like, oh, he just said some mystic shit and left. And because the fuck was the point of him being like, it's almost magic hour. He grabs his camera and then goes to get a shot. I was like, you're on film, dude. You got to develop it to see if you actually got it or not.
Yeah.
Like that. Anybody who's recorded anything on a camera, I feel like would have to look at it to see that they got it. And him just suiciding himself to, I'm going to get a shot that no one's ever going to see, but it'll look good because, I mean, maybe your shutter was off. Maybe your iris. It didn't make sense. And maybe that's a social commentary, but it feels so all over the place and nothing feels definite to where I feel like it just falls flat.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you're an alien, right, and you need to eat humans and animals to sustain yourself, right? Why would you go in the middle of nowhere where there's very few people?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you go to, like, I don't know, Beijing?
Why would you care if it looks at you or not?
Why would you give a shit? It's
unless it's scared or
you can hide in the clouds.
Why
I saw you before?
Why snakes don't go into cities? I don't know.
Well, that's dumb. Don't even need to go in New York City. Go to like any Albany.
Mm-hmm.
There's more people in Albany than there is in the middle of nowhere, California, on a ranch. I was reading a lot of reviews too about the deeper meanings, Jay, that you kind of went into.
Did anyone mention 613?
No.
Okay, because that number popped up quite a bit when Stephen Yoon was talking about what happened with the monkey. He's like, and for the next 6 minutes and 13 seconds, he snapped, and it was a savage. Unless he was just reiterating something, because later on in the movie, then he says 6 months ago at 6:13 p.m. Like he keeps using 6:13, and he used it twice. The
Well, it's referencing the Bible verse at the very beginning.
but the Bible verse was chapter 3, verse 6.
Oh, was it?
And but if
Oopsie.
you turn the colon into a 1 and you flip the thing, and then I thought, it's like, well, John 3:16 is the reverse of 6:13.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to think, I was like, is there anything there? And I'm like, nope. So I'll just Google it really quick. But anyways, you were reading reviews.
And they were going into the deeper meanings and themes that you were kind of going into. And just, I don't know if people actually saw these themes as they're watching the movie. I don't know where they're getting this from, if they're just trying to sound smart or thought provoking. But to me, it felt like trying to find deeper meaning in like Grandma's Boy or 40-Year-Old Virgin, when, hey, it's just a comedy.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I don't understand. I didn't see any of that in this movie.
Yeah, it's either, because typically with, I don't know, yeah, that or like The Shining or some. I mean, some of the stuff like in The Shining, they always say, "Oh, well, it's about Native American traumas," and
It's about the fake moon landing.
And yeah, it's the fake moon landing. It's about this. It's about that.
Yeah.
It's what people are reading into it.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably will be one of those movies, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until maybe someone's like, oh, yeah, it just wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right, though. They could have made it. He had a bigger budget, great cinematography. You could have made it a badass horror suspense thriller that would have been an awesome theater going experience, and just got rid of all the thematic shit. Just make a simple story about a brother and sister.
You could have had a single theme in there. I mean, easy. I mean, it could have been the about Black Americans taking back their notable achievements in history.
Okay.
Could have had, I mean, you could have had the same like past story for their family, the Haywood family. You could have had, and that whole point, that could have been a single through line, I think. But I mean,
it could have been,
yeah,
it could have been exactly like Jaws.
There's no deeper I feel like he tried to do a little bit like Jaws.
I know he did, but
it didn't. See, I think a straight horror film, I think would have been the better bet.
Yes.
I mean, because changing tones like that is tough. And I think it worked for Jaws because they were on water in a boat. It was somewhat realistic expectations. The entire second half of Nope, I was just thinking, I was like, what the hell they're just trying to get on camera. What's their plan after that? And then they're like, oh, we can finally kill it. And I'm like, wait a minute. What was the plan of trying to kill it? Was the plan always to unleash the big boy blow up statue and choke him? How would you know that would work? You're like, oh, I think I got caught. I think the horse decoy got caught in his windpipe. I don't know that. Probably just indigestion. Like, it felt very flimsy.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna lie, when that happened, when it died from the big boy inflatable popping or whatever, I'm like, really?
Yeah, it burped itself to death.
That's what it
fucking burped itself to death.
Yeah, that's what it did, huh?
It's like it ate a giant gusher.
Yes.
And instead of fruit-filled juice, it was just air.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
This alien's not smart. Can't tell the difference between. I mean, it's just
it's
dumb.
Yeah, I think overall it was a little bit of a mess. I mean, it was shot really well. I think the first part of it I think was great, but yeah, I think it missed the mark on the tone shift, because where Jaws you have realistic. Yeah, it's just a big ass shark. Harpoons exist. Like they had some kind of a plan to be able to kill it.
Yes.
They had some expert there. Now, obviously their plan, I don't think their plan was necessarily to kill it, but then it turned into that to where I feel like the execution could have been done a little bit better to get it on film. I mean, that was their blowing up the air tank and the shark was getting it on film.
Yeah.
For that sense, her taking a picture from the well, or taking like an old style camera to do a 10 whatever you call it, something lithograph or whatever. I think it was like Polaroid, but I mean, I guess that kind of where I just feel like the execution was just
Right.
lacking. Like it's just a lot of stuff going on that I would had a lot more questions. Like, why is it unfurling a butthole? Why is it just flashing colors
Mm-hmm.
when it never did that before? Is it trying to like communicate? Is it
Trying to mate with it.
mate with it?
Showing
Yeah,
his feathers?
trying to bang.
Trying to bang the big boy.
Check out my square
Yeah.
piece and my
Check out
ribbons.
Check out my square vagina.
I mean, just throw yourself in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to talk you off the ledge, but
I just was just mad. I just got mad. And you know what? I like Jordan Peele, and I like the attempt. I mean, I'm not saying don't quit making movies. That's not what I mean. I'm just I got mad because I thought I was gonna see one thing, and then I was disappointed by the tonal shift, the execution of it. I just felt cheated. I don't like it. I felt hoodwinked.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, it just didn't make sense. A lot of things. The cinematographer running off. Yeah, he wanted to get that shot, but
Seems a little drastic.
yeah. And I was like, dude, you have like 2 reels of film you got right there, and that gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So they don't have that, and
Yep.
it's
Well, even with the Polaroid she took, I mean, what, people are going to believe that?
yeah.
That's a real picture.
I can make that in 5 minutes on
Exactly.
Photoshop right now.
Exactly.
I
mean, maybe after the big boy exploded the alien, maybe the alien falls to Earth, and there you go. There's your proof. There's the alien. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I
saw a review saying they compared it to Jaws. Like, it's scarier than Jaws because, I mean, Jaws, you're on the water and the sky's everywhere. I mean, you can't escape the sky. And I'm like, sharks are fucking real. Those are real things. That scares people. Jaws scares people because sharks actually exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's in the water or on land. They exist. That's why it's scary. The floating butthole monster, that doesn't exist. So it's not scary.
Cloud jellyfish guy is not going to
Exactly
be coming down anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not scarier. It's not. It has better, scarier film techniques than Jaws. But I mean, it's doing the same thing that Jaws did. It's not showing you what it is for the first half of the movie, and then afterwards, it's an adventure thing that we're trying to get on film. And when TMZ guy comes up, dumb chrome helmet, the fuck wears that?
I don't know.
And if that's a social statement. No, it's not. Like, just have it all be chrome. Make me think it's Daft Punk coming up. He's gonna do a show, and but when Emerald, she's like, "Oh, we're doing a thing," and like whips out his TMZ camera, and he's like, "Oh, this shows up blurry on Google Earth." It's your property. Like, any person, be like, get the fuck off my private property.
Right. They would have had guns too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, they'd have a shit ton of guns.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the guy would be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And boom, problem solved. But you needed the electric bike. Could have been a regular combustion bike.
Yeah.
Which they could have done the same thing with the electric starter. But it's got to be electric bike because no one understands how engines work.
Yes.
But
yeah. I was disappointed. You didn't talk me off the ledge.
The electric bike, maybe that's a allegory for our reliance on
electronics.
Fuck if I know. I don't know.
You didn't talk me off the ledge. I still want to jump off of it.
I don't know. I think, just so we cover all of our bases, I think we're both the stupidest people.
Very much so.
We could be.
Yeah.
Maybe we missed the entire point.
Could be.
But listeners, if you've found a review that made a lot of sense, please send it to us. Send us a link, because I would like to read something. If someone wrote something to where I read it, I'm like, man, and then it made me want to go watch it again. And I watch it again, and I'm like, huh, that's a really good point. Please send it, because
I can't see it.
But I can't see that.
I can't see it.
I feel like people would be grasping at straws.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe because I think part of the reason why is because the movie doesn't feel as polished.
Mm-hmm.
It feels haphazard in the second half. The first part seemed really, I felt was really good. And maybe he hasn't gotten I don't know, his ability to shoot adventure films or be able to change tone. I haven't seen his other movies. So does he change tone? Has he changed tone like that in the past? Is he able to change tone like that?
Yeah, I mean, Get Out has definitely there's funny moments in Get Out where it shifts in tone pretty sharply, but it's done well. Us, there's not really a lot of tonal shifts in that movie.
No.
It's mainly just it's a horror movie for sure. I'm just mad. There's not very many good like alien abduction movies in general.
No, there's not. And
he could have made an alien abduction movie. Like people are disappearing. You could have made it like a cool like people disappearing movie or whatever. Like you meet a character and then they're gone, and then the people are like, where did he go or where did she go? And then people start to like
father could have been abducted,
right? So like people are wondering why people are missing, where you're going. It could have been a cool like mystery,
which it was in a sense. I mean, he was shopping, and they're like, "Oh, the missing hikers." Yeah, he's fucking eating them.
Right. A movie learning why the alien might be doing it. What's the ulterior motive? That could have been interesting.
Yeah,
because there aren't movies like that. I mean, there's Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I
mean, Knowing's the only one I can think of where they were picking off like younger people to like repopulate another Earth because it was going to be destroyed by that solar flare.
Yeah, which
is why I kind of like that movie. I was like, oh, that's an interesting. I've never seen that done before.
And that was also that's where Angels came from too.
Yes.
So I mean, they had a couple different things that they were going to where.
Yeah. But last podcast I said, oh, they're picking off people as slaves to throw bodies at whatever. I don't know. Maybe that would have been more fun, more interesting.
Could have.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have mind. I don't mind the monster. If they wanted to go the Jaws route and have that suspense in the first half, they should have gone the Jaws route instead of trying to get it on. That's the thing too. It's like we're punishing some people in the entertainment industry for their desire to get something on film to become famous, but others were not. Like
yeah.
So it's wishy-washy there. But if they wanted to go the Jaws route, I think it would have been cool. I think you could have had the suspense at the beginning half, but have it be personal for the characters to where they lost his father. They lost their father and they're running a struggling business. CGI is taking over as far as wild animals and they're dangerous and blah, 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 which is another commentary someone else brought up or whatever. Like, oh, it's about the advent of CGI and real animal trainers are losing their work. You could have had that to where they had a ranch and their horses keep showing up or they keep missing. And they're having financial issues. You have enough of the stuff to where something keeps taking the horses. They figure out what it is. And then I feel like they decide they need to kill it because it's taking away their livelihood. That I think probably would have been a bit better instead of trying to, and I think it would have led to more creative, like, how can we kill this thing? Right. You're going to have to use a horse as bait. Maybe they didn't do that because then it really would be just a rip off of Jaws. It'd just be Jaws on land.
Yeah.
But I feel like,
why? Here's what probably would have made it less annoying / painful for me to sit through. If they didn't market it, if they didn't show the spacecraft at all in the final trailer. Remember when we were like, what's it about? Is it aliens? We weren't sure. And then the final trailer came out and it was the typical flying saucer thing. Don't even have that trailer. Just don't have another trailer. And you go in, what is this movie about?
Yeah.
What is it about? Like, do people actually go see this movie because they thought it was an alien movie? No. I think they went because Jordan Peele It's a horror suspense movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like Get Out, I Like Us. That's what got the asses in the seats. Maybe because the movie made $44 million on opening weekend. Maybe you got an extra couple million because alien movie enthusiasts wanted to go see it, but I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made the movie a better experience for me because I would have came in there not knowing what it was.
Yeah, and I can see that because I know I was walking in literally we were walking up to the front doors, and in the back of my mind I was hoping because I had never seen a Jordan Peele movie, but I heard he does horror and suspense really well, and I was hoping this would make it into the top 5 of aliens to where I was prepared to push Close Encounters off and put this on. And yeah, obviously it didn't do that for me.
Yeah.
But oh God, that barn scene though was so good.
It was very good.
That's what kills me is because that scene was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a 2-hour version of that movie.
Exactly.
Because maybe it's just because I like Signs. And I was getting some Signs vibes with the ranch house and everything, just kind of being out by itself. And which he said he drew inspiration from Signs, Jurassic Park, Jaws, King Kong.
Yep.
And so maybe he was trying to not have it be so similar.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
Missed the mark for me, Jay.
Yeah. It did. I'll probably give it a rewatch.
I won't. I think my experience was too traumatic for me to enjoy it.
I mean, the monkey scene. Other than
why was the monkey so shittily done?
Other than Stephen Yeun doing the same thing, that the producers of that show did or whatever,
the exact same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he didn't learn his lesson.
Didn't. Poor lady got her face gnawed off. She's there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She dies, by the way, again.
Yeah.
Cruel world.
Yeah, and I wish they would have got a real chimpanzee.
Why didn't they?
Because they wanted it to look like shit.
Because as the chimp's coming closer to kid Stephen Yeun, I'm like, this is awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had to cover it with the
yes, because it was so bad.
Cover it with the tablecloth because, my gosh, God, it looks like shit.
Hey, we only got 20 grand left in this budget. All right, I guess we got to make the flying jelly monster look better. We can't make the chimp look better, so fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have used a real chimp.
There was no one on that TV set that had a fucking gun. There was someone in that audience that had a gun. Someone was packed.
Yeah, what was it, the 90s? I guess you were Brady Bill and everything. If it was the 80s, everyone would have been strapped.
Where was the chimp trainer at?
Gat in every hand and a cap in every ass.
Where was the chimp trainer at with the trank? Something.
Yeah.
Should have been on set, ready to go. Yeah. I'm sorry, listeners. I don't recommend this movie. It made me angry. It made Jay happy.
I was just playing with my belly button the whole time watching this
movie.
I
forgot to mention I had a 5-year-old sitting in front of me. So I saw this movie 9:05 at night on a Saturday night.
9:05 at night, Saturday night.
Rated R.
There's a 5-year-old.
5-year-old right in front of me. Mommy, when are we going? Is it done? Are we done? Shh. Is it done? Mommy, every 10 minutes. Like to the last hour of that movie.
Sure, that just wasn't your internal dialogue going. Like, Mommy.
Maybe she wasn't there. Maybe it was my imagination.
Just what you were thinking.
Is what I was thinking.
If not, you should have thrown her into the movie screen.
Should have.
I mean, that should just be
the
protocol.
Giant butthole monster should have just sucked her up.
Yeah.
Right into its rectum. Yeah. What did you think of the rectum scene where like the people are like going up the digestive tract, up the butthole?
I was like, okay, these look like bed sheets, and but then once the lady realized like what happened, like her scream, that was pretty good. That was pretty good acting, Scream.
That was a good acting scream.
That was the only, because I was just like, this is kind of ridiculous. And then she's like, and like, I was like, ooh, all right, that was pretty good. But I mean, there's like small bits and pieces, but all the best elements I feel like of this movie was the mystery and the suspense and the horror. The complete second half is just
Yeah.
stupid.
I will say the scenes in the sky with the monster going from cloud to cloud initially, that was kind of cool. I like that element. I love when they get a new piece of information, like that cloud hasn't moved in like a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like the baby monitor. It's
Yeah.
where you're like,
Exactly. Yeah.
and
Yeah, that pulls you in a little bit, like, okay, yeah, let's find out some
Mhm.
more. And then it's like just a big pile of diarrhea after that.
Yep.
Fuck. Yeah,
mm,
that's it. I think I just liked the spaceship movement, the kids in the alien scene. David Kaluuya was good.
yeah, I thought, David Kaluuya, Kiki
Palmer.
those two together worked
Yeah.
really well. Michael Wincott, fantastic.
Oh, it's awesome.
Steven Yeun, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's okay.
He was fine. They could have gotten anyone for that. Keith David, god damn it.
Keith David died from a fart of like a nickel into his eye socket. That's how that poor bastard met his end. Got fired on by a butthole alien.
What's the velocity of that alien shit? It's got to be fun.
Well,
because
it's greater than gravity.
has to be.
Like, do you think it was just like one of those like relaxed?
No, it wasn't a relaxed thing. He didn't
have
have Mexican that day, so it's just like it was a forceful.
just hey,
Jeez, it's like an angry.
one.
Yeah.
Your Taco Bell. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they were all clean. It's just
Yeah. It was clean. There was
why
no,
wasn't there a
like-
shower of blood?
right?
Inconsistency.
I guess there was a shower of blood with the window. Like, wasn't there like blood coming down the window?
Yeah,
from
and
the
later
inside?
on in the movie,
Yeah.
but in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah, there wasn't.
there wasn't. Well, it's symbolism. You see, you just don't get it.
I don't get it. That's right. I'm stupid. Yeah.
That would be funny. Just the beginning of the movie just starts raining blood, and Keith David's like, "What the fuck?" He looks
Exactly.
up and then gets a nickel in his eye. Why does it only kill you and eat you if you look at it?
I don't know.
Is that how all predators are? Like I can like a hungry lion is walking down, and as long as I don't make eye contact,
It's
I'll
like
be
a
fine.
T-Rex. You just don't move.
Oh, okay,
It doesn't see you.
got ya.
Yeah. Maybe that was his inspiration from Jurassic Park.
Maybe.
That doesn't make sense. I don't know.
What does a Scorpion King mean? He had it on a sweatshirt.
Scorpion King.
Yeah, he worked on the crew for the Scorpion King, but they ended up using. What do you think the symbolism is there?
That Dwayne the Rock Johnson's racist.
Oh no, shitty CGI. Just like
There you go.
in The
Mummy
Mummy
Returns.
Returns, creepy chimp, fake CGI chimp. That's the connection.
There you go.
There's a loose reference.
6 degrees of chimp CGI. Is that what we're
Mhm.
doing here?
Yep.
I mean, I'd love to hear that review.
I thought there was going to be more to Daniel Kaluuya's character as far as why he doesn't do well
Yeah.
with.
He's pretty stoic throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does that. He plays that very well.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't mind that. I just thought it was going to lead to some kind of arc
Mm-hmm.
to where, because he's very soft spoken, like you're doing the safety meeting, like he just can't deal with people that well, but he deals with
Animals better.
animals better. But I mean, other people he interacts with, he's
He's fine.
fine with them too.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's just not a public speaker. I don't know. But I just thought there was going to be something more.
There
more
wasn't.
there, or some kind of growth
I
there,
did
or
too.
something. Like at the end he'd give a speech.
Oh, he's on the horse at the end,
Yeah,
ready to rescue his sister and ride off into the sunset.
yeah.
I don't know. Really don't care. Just disappointed.
Why was it showing the butthole at the end? Like what?
Which butthole?
I don't know.
There's a lot of butthole in that movie.
The square ribbon butthole.
Oh,
The
I don't know.
squiggly man.
The
Which
I don't know.
Squiggly Men kind of looks similar to his unfurling. So
It did. Do you think he was trying to mimic it?
I don't know.
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. So many different articles are going to be out there about the meaning of this movie.
There is no meaning.
That's the whole point, isn't it, Jay? That's the whole point. He wanted to fuck with you. I'm telling you, that's why he made a butthole monster. He pitched this.
It's a fucking joke.
He told his friends, "Listen, I pitched an alien monster movie to Universal, but I'm really making a butthole monster movie. I'm really gonna fuck with them."
What do you mean? No, the monster. It's just a giant fucking butthole. What? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the sky. Like, no, you're not. What's your budget gonna get? I'm gonna get 80 million for this. No, you're not. Watch me.
Watch it.
He's like, and I'm just gonna throw in some random shit in there so we get these dickhead journalists trying to think I'm like the fucking second coming. You're like, oh, you could see the third blade of grass actually means Judas's repentance from back in the.
It's really about spectacle, you know. I'll throw a Bible verse in the beginning of the movie. People are gonna think it's so deep.
Yeah,
it's a butthole monster movie.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele.
Every interview I do for the press rounds, I'm just going to say something different. It's about the entertainment industry.
If he came out and said, this movie is just a butthole monster movie, I would respect this movie so much more.
Yeah.
It might make my top 5 movies with an alien. Remember that time when Jordan Peele made a butthole monster movie and he just fucked with everybody? Dude, I would respect that so much.
Like an Andy Kaufman would just pop up out of the grave. It's like, he did it.
Yes. Andy Kaufman's wrestling ladies. He's being serious about it. No, but I don't think that's.
Yeah,
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I think people will be grasping at straws.
I think
one.
Yeah, intentionally.
And not that a movie has to be good to have deeper meaning, but I feel it's movies like this to where it's going to be a very polarized thing. I mean, I think to where people you just don't get it. Or I don't know, but I just don't. I think he tried to do a big budget movie and it just missed.
It did miss.
I think it would have been stronger without the tonal shift. It would have been a little bit shorter. Yeah. Well, I mean, he wrote this during COVID, so he wrote and released it, shot it, or started shooting in 21.
Mm-hmm.
So he wrote it in 2020, which I guess COVID started in March. Everything shut down.
Are you trying to find a meaning with COVID?
No, I'm trying to think of the quickness that he wrote this and shot it. And
you get your lifetime to write your first movie.
It could just be one of those.
Could be one of those things. I don't know.
So
anyway, I'm disappointed. I don't recommend it. And that's that, Jay.
I think watch it once. I think it's shot really well. Watch it once.
If you want to see a movie about a flying butthole monster, this is the one.
Yeah. And if you guys read a review after seeing it and thinking, yeah, this person nailed it, send it our way. Love to read it. Yeah, I just don't.
They should have titled it Anus.
And I think above Nevada up sucker.
Yeah. Anus.
We need to take a picture of this anus. It'll be the first one ever.
Yeah, above Nevada, under sky.
Undersuck.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Anything else, Jay?
No, I got nothing else on
I got nothing else either.
All right. Well, that was Nope. Join us next time.
Yeah.
As we talk about 2 movies that go together like peas and carrots. Give you a hint. 3 seashells. I'd buy that for $1. So that's your hint.
I love it.
If you guys don't get it, you're dummies, or you haven't seen these movies.
You just don't get it,
or you haven't seen them enough to.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. But no, they'll be good. It'll be 2 movies that we think go really, really well together. And we'll touch on that in our next show.
Yeah.
As always, don't forget to comment. Send us an email if you want to request anything for us to watch or anything like that, or if you found a deeper meaning in Nope and you think we're dumb and we're missing the point, please let us know. So
please let us know.
Enlighten us. Make just help Matt like this movie a little bit better than having to chop his own.
I feel like a cranky old man.
No, it's just
I don't know.
We've seen a lot of movies.
I think Top Gun Maverick just ruined the theater going experience for me.
Ruined 2022 for you?
It did, because it was so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just chasing that dragon, Jay. I'm chasing it.
It's fun, and it's and it's tough because I mean, if you think back on the movies that we really enjoy, how far apart were they released?
It's true.
I mean, at least a couple of years for each of them. I mean, every once in a while you get like a year like 99, 82, 94 to where it's just banger after banger. And, but yeah. So, well, hopefully we can get another good one. So, but yeah, that's our show for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Till next time, Jay.
Till next time. Bye.